In the 41st millennium, where the darkness between stars is pierced only by the ceaseless blaze of celestial wars, there lies the Imperium of man, a realm so vast and complex, its very existence teeters on the brink of oblivion without the stern hand of great leaders to steer its course. These titans of command martial legions dictate the workings of vast factories and weave the intricate workings of societies and organizations across the scattered constellations. Without these, even the bravest hearts would falter under the oppressive weight of despair, their cries lost to the vacuum of space. And yet, amid the chorus of those who lead, voices of contention rise, echoing the complex and often murky nature of power. But even in this cacophony, there emerge figures so pivotal. Their names become synonymous with the survival of the Imperium itself. Among these luminaries, none shine as fiercely as the Archmagos Dominus of the Adeptus Mechanicus, Belisarius Cawl. Known as the Dominatus Dominus, the Master of Masters, he held a rank that commanded awe and fear in equal measure among the echelons of the Mechanicum. Yet it was not merely his title that set him apart from his contemporaries, but his unquenchable thirst for innovation. In a culture where the discovery and replication of ancient technologies were considered the highest of callings, Cawl dared to defy convention. His vision transcended the mere recovery of the past. He sought to forge the future. Where others saw blasphemy, he saw potential. His endeavors promised to usher in advancements that could tilt the scales of power back in favor of the beleaguered forces of humanity. Cawl's journey began on the red plains of Mars, where the great forges of Xanthi Terra birthed him not from womb, but from a vat. From his very first breath, he was marked by an extraordinary gift, a precocious ability to speak, his mind a sponge for the vast torrents of data that flowed around him. On the world of Trisolian A4, he became a tech acolyte, guided by the Magos Domina, Hester Aspertia Sigma Sigma, a maven in the lost arts of cloning and soul merging. It was under her austere tutelage that Cawl mastered these arcane disciplines, becoming the sole bearer of knowledge that has since been lost to time. Yet with each step forward, the chasm between Cawl and the Mechanicum's dogmatic chains widened. His reverence for the Emperor, seen as the Omnissiah, clashed violently with the stagnation preached by Mars. Cawl envisioned a future where innovation and progress were the Mechanicum's guiding stars, rather than the dim light of technological preservation. Defiant, he championed the superiority of the human form, viewing cybernetic augmentation not as a panacea, but as a tool to elevate flesh to its utmost potential. In hiding, Cawl dared to augment his own brain, a forbidden act of self-evolution, enhancing his intellect. As millennia marched on, Cawl's origins faded into the ether, his past a labyrinth sealed by the erasure of his own memories, not once, but twice, casting him as a figure of both legend and mystery, even to himself. As the galaxy spiraled into the Horus Heresy, destiny would soon cast Belisarius into the heart of betrayal. The Trisolian system, once a haven of technological marvels, became a battlefield. Horus Lupercal, the arch-traitor, launched a devastating assault. Amidst the turmoil, Belisarius faced the ultimate betrayal. His mentor, Hester, succumbed to the allure of treachery, casting her lot with the forces of chaos. Disillusioned, yet undeterred, Cawl crafted a facade of loyalty to the usurper, hiding his true intentions. With the aid of his steadfast ally, Friedrich Adam Shipkuvo, and amidst the raging storm of war, he executed a daring gambit. Belisarius would end the treachery of Hester, severing the ties that bound student and teacher. In the aftermath, allied with the feral might of the Space Wolves and under the ferocious gaze of Primarch Leman Russ, Cawl fled the Trisolian system. Prior to his escape, Cawl made a decision. He merged his consciousness with that of his fallen mentor, assimilating Hester Aspertia's intelligence core. This act, veiled in secrecy, granted him the knowledge of cloning, a mastery over life itself that few could dream to wield. This acquisition was not merely the assimilation of information. It was the confluence of centuries of expertise, a fusion of two minds across the chasm of betrayal. Armed with this newfound prowess, Cawl, alongside his companion Friedrich, set their sights on the cradle of humanity, Holy Terra. It was there that they met Ezekiel Sedain. Under the mentorship of Sedain, a figure as mysterious as he was wise, Cawl and Friedrich found themselves once again students. Ezekiel Sedain was a brilliant geneticist whose main task was creating and improving the genetic lines of the legions Astartes. However, in the twilight of his life, Sedain found himself teetering on the precipice of mortality, his once vigorous essence now a flickering flame, dimming despite the marvels of rejuvenate therapies. The specter of death spurred him towards a desperate gambit for immortality. His objective was singular: to intertwine his consciousness with that of Cawl, a repository of forbidden knowledge on cloning and the arcane art of soul merging. Sedain envisioned a future where his soul, once melded with Cawl's, would overwhelm him, his persona reigning supreme. To this end, Sedain, in his blind fervor for immortality, threatened the life of Friedrich, wielding this threat as leverage to coerce Cawl into compliance. Yet, fate had penned a different climax. It was Cawl's psyche that surged forth, eclipsing Sedain's. As he stirred from this existential meld, a memory unfurled. It was the Emperor amidst the crucible of the Unification Wars. Within this vivid recollection, the Emperor, a figure of unfathomable foresight and power, bestowed upon Sedain, henceforth Cawl, a task. He foretold trials and tribulations, of a day when Cawl would grapple with the belief that he had forsaken the Emperor's grand vision, but to still continue to persevere in his stead. Following the Heresy, a solemn charge fell upon the shoulders of Cawl, bestowed by none other than Guilliman himself, the first Lord Commander of the Imperium. It was a burden and task to oversee contingencies should the towering figure of Guilliman fall. Two monumental duties were entrusted to Cawl's care: the resurrection of Guilliman and the genesis of a new breed of warriors, the Primaris Space Marines. The second task was even a greater challenge, as Guilliman assigned Cawl to create the next generation of Space Marines. To assist in this, Guilliman gifted him with one of the most precious artifacts of the Imperium, the Sang Primus Portum. It contains genetic material of all 20 of the Emperor's Primarchs. For 10 millennia, Belisarius toiled away at his mission. Yet as the eons ebbed and flowed, Cawl himself became a prisoner of his own creation. Once of organic flesh and iron will, he metamorphosed into a fusion of man and machine, his humanity slowly eroded by the relentless march of progress. Driven by a thirst for knowledge, Cawl delved deeper into the abyss of his own consciousness, merging myriad of psyches within his cybernetic core. He became a mashed-up nexus of souls, a living testament to the potential of the human spirit. With each passing century, he was forced to purge his memory banks, and Cawl watched as fragments of his past drifted into the abyss of forgotten dreams. During the 13th Black Crusade, led by Abaddon the Despoiler, Cawl embarked on a pilgrimage to the bastion of Cadia. There, amidst chaos's relentless onslaught, he lent his expertise to fortify the imperiled realm's defenses. Reluctantly intertwined in an unholy alliance, Cawl found himself standing shoulder to shoulder with the Necron Lord, Trazyn the Infinite. Together, an unlikely duo, they planned to unleash the latent power of Cadia's pylon array. These pylons were towering constructs that were designed to restrain the tides of the warp. Though their efforts bore initial fruit, Cadia's fate was sealed by the malevolent machinations of Abaddon, who redirected the remnants of a Blackstone fortress to shatter the beleaguered world. Amidst the cataclysmic chaos, Cawl, clutching his precious artifacts, fled the ruins of Cadia. Harried by the relentless pursuit of the dreaded Black Legion, thirsting for the secrets his artifacts concealed, Cawl found himself ensnared in the embrace of the webway, guided by the Eldar. It was here that the Eldar unveiled the path to salvation, leading the beleaguered travelers to the hallowed halls of Macragge, the homeworld of the Ultramarines. Upon Macragge, Cawl unveiled the true extent of his arsenal, relics of unimaginable power, the Emperor's sword and a suit of power armor that whispered to hold the key to revive the slumbering Primarch Guilliman from his timeless repose. As Ultramar was bombarded by attacks from Abaddon's forces, Cawl, aided by the loyal Ultramarines and the Eldar, orchestrated the resurrection of Guilliman, champion of mankind. In a clash of steel and sorcery, Guilliman emerged, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness, leading his forces to repel the ravenous tide of chaos that threatened to engulf Ultramar in its malevolent grasp. In the wake of Chaos's relentless grip on Ultramar, Guilliman marshaled a formidable fleet aimed at the heart of Holy Terra. Amidst this perilous Terran crusade, Cawl finally completed his second task assigned to him eons ago. His laborious efforts bore fruit in the form of the Primaris Space Marines, a creation forged over millennia on Mars's fiery forge. Drawing upon the genetic template of the Emperor's original Astartes, Cawl sculpted a new breed of warriors, transcending the limits of their predecessors in stature, strength, and swiftness of mind. These towering behemoths, born of the Ultima founding, emerged as champions of the Imperium's saga. At the inception of the Indomitus Crusade, a clarion call to arms resounded across the Imperium, summoning these extraordinary warriors to stand with Guilliman. Together, they waged a desperate war, reclaiming lost bastions of imperial sovereignty from the ravenous clutches of chaos. During the Indomitus Crusade, Cawl was given free rein by Guilliman to unleash technological innovation to help the forces of the Imperium finally throw back the tides of chaos. He had been authorized to utilize new technology and new configurations of ancient devices to refit Guilliman's flagship, the Macragge's Honor. The ancient Archmagos had proven to be the Imperium's only source of technological innovation across the span of the Indomitus Crusade, creating several new vehicles and weapons. Cawl had beseeched Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium, to anoint him as the Fabricator General of Mars. With the weight of authority bestowed upon him, Guilliman had already reshaped the distribution of power of the Mechanicus. The Primarch, mindful of the delicate balance between dominion and autonomy, rebuffed Cawl's pleas, citing the sacred Treaty of Mars as an immutable barrier. To defy it would court not only dissent, but civil strife across the Mechanicus. Undeterred, Cawl pressed his case with fervent conviction. He extolled his feats, a litany of triumphs, where he alone had unraveled the mysteries of the Omnissiah's design, revived Guilliman, and even remastered the Emperor's Angels of Death. But within the sanctum of Mars, dissent simmered. Cawl's peers, custodians of orthodoxy, decried his transgressions, dealings with Xenos, utilization of forbidden knowledge, as heresies. To them, he was an arch-heretic, a pariah whose hubris threatened to sunder the sacred tenets of the machine god. Innovation breeds enmity as surely as it sparks progress. Cawl's audacious gambit, a challenge to the sanctity of dogma, drew the ire of the Mechanicus's traditionalists. Guilliman, ever the strategist, watched with a wary eye, mindful of the peril posed by his allies' unbridled ambition. Guilliman, burdened by the weight of his responsibilities, knew that one day he might be forced to confront Cawl, whose thirst for advancement threatened to engulf the Imperium in turmoil. And on that fateful day, he vowed to wield the sword of authority with unflinching resolve, lest the ambitions of one man doom them all to oblivion. This concludes today's chapter from the archives. Please like and subscribe if you want more. Leave a comment on which chapter we should reveal from the archives next. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider making a purchase of mini block figurines from my shop linked below.